He was sitting in his old chair, the one by the window, where the afternoon sun always falls just right. His newspaper was in his hands, but his eyes were on me. He looked me straight in the face, not blinking, not smiling, just waiting. And I didn't blink either. I wanted him to see I meant every word I was about to say. "I've never met her," he said softly, like he was stating a simple fact, not realizing the weight it carried. I nodded. "I know," I replied. "That's why I want you to." He paused, folded his paper slowly, then asked just one question, one simple question that carried more than 1,000 others could. "Is she good to you?" I didn't even think. The answer was already written in my heart. "Yes," I said. "She's everything I've prayed for. She's kind. She's real. She's patient, even when I'm not. She doesn't try to change me. She just brings out the better side of me, the side you always said was there but I could never see." For a moment, he didn't say a word. The quiet stretched between us like a bridge we both needed to cross. And then, without looking at me, he said something I never thought I'd hear. "If she's the reason you're smiling more these days, I want to meet her." My heart dropped, not from fear, but from something heavier, something warm. I didn't know how much I needed his blessing until he gave it. I didn't know how heavy the weight was until it was gone. That night, I sat with those words echoing in my chest. I wasn't playing games. I wasn't keeping you a secret. I wasn't hiding love like it was something fragile. I had spoken about you. I had brought your name into the room where it mattered. I wanted to build something real, not just between us, but between you and the world I came from. And I needed you to know how big that step was for me, because it meant everything. I could already imagine your smile, the way your eyes would soften, the way you'd say, "You did what?" with that little laugh. And I hoped you would feel it, that this was different now. That this wasn't just about love. It was about future, about family, about becoming part of something bigger than just two people holding hands in the dark. The next morning I woke up with my heart beating like a drum, half nerves, half excitement. I'm not usually one for planning every detail, but that day I wanted everything to feel right. I didn't want it to feel staged. I wanted it to feel true. I messaged you, kept it simple. "Can you meet me today?" And you, always trusting, always ready to go where I lead, answered, "Of course." You didn't ask why. You didn't question where. That's you, soft, steady, open. I picked a quiet place, nothing fancy, just warm lights, calm air, a place that felt like a deep breath. I didn't want it to feel like a test. I just wanted you and him to share the same space, to let that quiet understanding flow between you both. You walked in wearing something simple, but somehow you still glowed. You always do, without trying. And when my father looked up and saw you, he just watched for a moment. No words, just eyes that saw more than they said. Then he stood, reached out his hand, and gave you a nod, not cold, not stiff, just a silent kind of welcome. And we all sat down. There was silence, that strange pause where people aren't sure what comes next. But with you there, it didn't feel strange. It felt peaceful. He asked you simple things, where you grew up, what you liked to do, how you spent your time. You answered with that quiet voice of yours, not trying to impress, not trying to charm, just being you. And that was more than enough. At one point, he laughed. Not a fake laugh, not polite, a real one. That's when I knew. He saw you. Really, saw you. Not just as someone I loved, but as someone worth knowing. And when we left and it was just us again, your hand in mine, you asked, "Was that okay?" I smiled. Better than okay. Later that night, I sat in my car outside his house. I didn't go in right away. I just watched the lights in the windows and thought about you, about how right it felt having you there. No awkwardness, no masks, just truth. And when I finally stepped inside, he was there, like always, in his chair, sipping tea. He looked at me, nodded, and said, "Sit." I did. He took a slow sip of his tea and said, You've changed. I blinked. What do you mean? He set the cup down gently and looked at me, not through me, but into me. I've seen you go through a lot, he said. You've made mistakes, pushed people away, pretended nothing mattered, but now you've slowed down. Like something finally means something. He paused. Then he said, I don't know what it is about her. But when she looked at you, it wasn't just love, it was belief. She believes in you, more than you do. I looked down, my throat tightening. She does, I said softly. And I don't know why. But she does. He leaned forward. Don't make her regret that. Women like that, they don't come twice. His words stayed with me, like a stone dropped in still water, rippling through everything I thought I knew. I nodded. I won't. Then he added, when you're ready, bring her back, not just for tea, for something bigger. I didn't sleep much that night. My thoughts were too full of you, of him, of what this could become. I picked up my phone and messaged you. I think he likes you, but not half as much as I do. You replied with a heart emoji and a soft really, and I said, yeah, but I'll tell you more in person. The next time we met, you looked different, not in how you dressed or moved, but in your eyes. Like you already knew, like something in the air had shifted. We sat in that quiet cafe, your fingers playing with your sweater sleeve, your drink, warming your hands. I leaned in and said, I told him everything. You looked at me, silent. Not surprised, just listening. I told him what you mean to me, how you bring peace where I've always had chaos, how you make things quieter but not empty, softer but not weak. You looked down. What did he say? You asked. He told me not to mess this up, I said, that women like you don't come twice. You laughed gently, but your eyes shimmered like stars. That laugh, it held relief, disbelief, maybe a little hope too. I reached for your hand. I told him I'm serious about you. I'm not here for a maybe. I want something that lasts. You looked at me, your voice barely a whisper. Are you sure? I nodded. I didn't even know what sure felt like until I met you. That moment stayed with me, not loud, not dramatic, just soft and steady, like a promise whispered in the wind. We didn't need to rush, but we didn't hold back either. A few days later, I told you I wanted to take you somewhere. You didn't ask where. You just said, okay. We drove out of the city into a place where time slowed down, a little hill with a wooden bench and a view of the lake, a place I used to go with my mother. I hadn't brought anyone there before, but I brought you. You looked around and said, this place feels like silence in the best way. I nodded. I come here to breathe, and now I want to breathe with you. We sat down, the sky soft, with light, the water still like a secret. I don't bring people here, I said, but I wanted you to see it, because now you matter to me more than this place ever did. You looked at the lake, then at me. Thank you, you said, for sharing it with me. Then you took a deep breath. You're not the only one who was scared, you said. I was too, scared you'd change your mind, scared I'd care too much and you wouldn't, scared to want more. I squeezed your hand. You're not alone. I felt all of it too. You smiled, a little shaky. Then you leaned your head on my shoulder. I'm glad you told your father. I'm glad you're not hiding me. I whispered, not anymore. We sat there until the stars came out, until the world around us went quiet. We didn't say much after that. We didn't need to. Because that night I realized something clear. I wasn't falling anymore. I had already fallen. Let me know if you'd like this script formatted for subtitles or voiceover delivery, or if you need background music recommendations for the mood you're building. The stars blinked slowly above us, and you, soft as night air, remained still against my shoulder. We said nothing, but the silence between us was full of words we didn't have to say, full of everything we had finally begun to believe. I watched the reflection of the moon tremble on the surface of the lake and I thought, This is what peace looks like. Not loud, not bright, not forced. Just stillness that doesn't scare me anymore. Just love that doesn't ask to be proven. It just stays. You shifted slightly, your hand finding mine like it always does, without asking, without needing permission. And I held on. Not because I had to, but because I didn't want to let go. I thought about every moment that led us here. The doubts, the distance, the days I didn't know how to speak. But you never walked away. You never needed me to be perfect. You just needed me to be present. And now I am. Finally. I turned to you and whispered, "I think he saw what I see." You looked up, questioning. I smiled. He saw a future in your eyes. He saw the way I look at you, and he knew I wasn't looking for a way out. I was, looking for a way home. You didn't answer. You just leaned in closer, as if your silence said more than any words could. And I understood. Sometimes, the loudest kind of love is the quiet that stays. That night, driving you home through soft streets and sleepy skies, I felt something I hadn't felt in years, a sense of arriving.